Have you ever walked out of a salon, glanced at yourself in the mirror and thought, wait a minute, why do I look older instead of younger? It's such a disappointing feeling, isn't it? We expect a fresh cut to lift us up, to make us feel lighter and more confident. Yet sometimes the wrong haircut can do the opposite. It can add years, highlight lines, and leave us wondering what went wrong. Or maybe you've had this moment. You're looking through old photographs, smiling at your younger self, and you suddenly realize that your hair back then seemed to give you an energy that feels missing today. You ask yourself, why did I look so vibrant then, and why does my hair now make me feel older than I actually am? The truth is, after 60, our hair doesn't behave the way it once did. It changes in texture, in thickness, and in shine. It may become drier, finer, or more fragile. But here's what matters most. Hair is never just hair. It's the frame of your face. It's the silent introduction you make before you even speak. And it is one of the most powerful ways you express your personality and your lifestyle. That's why choosing the right haircut at this stage of life isn't vanity, it's self-expression. It's about showing the world that you are still vibrant, stylish, and very much engaged with life. The wrong haircut can weigh you down, but the right one can lift your features, highlight your best qualities, and quite literally take 10 years off your appearance. And that's exactly what we're going to explore together today. I'll share with you 3 haircuts that instantly make women over 60 look fresher, lighter, and more youthful. And I'll also point out 3 styles that tend to add years without us realizing it. Along the way, I'll tell you stories from real women I've worked with, friends and clients who have experienced these transformations firsthand. And at the very end, I'll leave you with a clear, simple framework for choosing the haircut that truly works for you, your face, your texture, and your lifestyle. So stay with me, because by the time we're done, you'll see that the right haircut isn't just a style choice. It's a confidence choice. And that choice can change the way you feel every single day. Why hair matters so much after 60. When we cross the milestone of 60, something changes that goes far beyond birthdays or numbers on a calendar. Our hair begins to tell a different story than it did in our 30s or 40s. Biologically, the structure of our hair starts to shift. The body naturally produces less keratin and collagen, the very building blocks that keep strands strong, elastic, and full of life. At the same time, our scalp slows down its oil production. Even women who once enjoyed thick, glossy hair may notice that it now feels thinner, drier, and more fragile. These changes are natural, but they also mean that the haircut which once flattered us years ago may no longer serve us in the same way. But biology is only half the picture. The psychology of hair is just as powerful. Hair is the frame of the face. And the way it frames your features has an enormous impact on how others perceive your age, your energy, and even your personality. A cut with softness and movement can make you appear vibrant, approachable, and modern. A heavy, outdated style can unintentionally drag your features down and signal fatigue, even when you feel perfectly fine inside. In fact, psychologists who study perception have found that people often make judgments about youthfulness and vitality within seconds of meeting someone. And hair is one of the strongest cues they rely on, sometimes even more than skin or makeup. I once worked with a woman named Mary, a 65-year-old from California whose story has stayed with me. For more than 2 decades, she wore her hair long, heavy, and one length, the same style she had chosen in her 40s. It was convenient for her. She could pull it back into a ponytail and not worry about it. But that convenience came with a cost. The long, flat sheet of hair pulled her face downward, emphasized the lines around her mouth and eyes, and made her look older than she felt. Friends often commented that she seemed tired, even on days when she was in great spirits. With some encouragement from her daughter, Mary finally agreed to sit in my chair and consider a change. I suggested a cut with layers that would fall just above her shoulders and add softness around her cheekbones. She hesitated. Like many women, she feared that cutting her hair would somehow strip away her femininity. But the moment the scissors finished their work, her entire appearance lit up. The shorter layers framed her face, lifted her features, and gave her eyes a sparkle that had been hidden for years. The transformation didn't end at the salon mirror. The very next day, when Mary went out to meet friends, the reaction was immediate and almost unanimous. "You look 10 years younger." People couldn't stop telling her how refreshed, vibrant, and confident she appeared. What struck me most was that Mary herself felt it too. She hadn't changed her clothes, her makeup, or her lifestyle. The only thing different was her haircut, yet it completely reshaped the way others saw her and the way she carried herself. Mary's experience is not unusual. It underscores a truth I tell every woman over 60. Your haircut is not just about maintenance or keeping things tidy. It's about self-expression, confidence, and showing the world who you are today. Hair has the power to age us or to energize us. The right cut highlights your best features, softens where needed, and sends a message of vitality and grace. After 60, that message is more important than ever, not because we are trying to look like we are 20 again, but because we want our outer image to reflect the life, wisdom, and beauty that still shine inside. 3 haircuts that can instantly make you look younger. When I talk to women over 60, one of the questions I hear most often is there a haircut that can really make me look younger? And the answer is yes, absolutely. But the key isn't about chasing youth or pretending to be 25 again. It's about finding cuts that lift, soften, and bring light back to the face. The right haircut works with your natural beauty instead of against it, and the difference can be remarkable. The first style I recommend time and time again is the soft layered bob. Think of this cut as timeless, elegant, and universally flattering. The reason it works so well is that it introduces movement and dimension around the face. As we age, gravity naturally pulls features downward, and heavy one-length hair can emphasize that effect. Layers, on the other hand, create lift. They draw the eye upward toward the cheekbones and soften the jawline. I often suggest keeping the length between the chin and just above the shoulders. At this range, the bob frames the face beautifully without overwhelming it. And when paired with soft, side-swept bangs, the effect can be transformative. The bangs gently disguise forehead lines while keeping the eyes open and bright. One of my clients, Linda, had worn her hair past her shoulders for decades. The moment she tried a layered bob with wispy bangs, friends told her she looked 10 years younger, not because she looked different, but because she looked refreshed, as if a weight had been lifted both from her hair and her spirit. The second haircut that consistently delivers a youthful boost is the pixie with volume. I know the word pixie can make some women nervous. They imagine a severe, boyish cut that feels too harsh for their age. But a pixie done correctly is the opposite, with soft layers and lift at the crown. This style creates the illusion of fullness, which is especially important for women whose hair has thinned with age. Instead of lying flat against the scalp, the hair has structure, movement, and body. A pixie also highlights your best features, your eyes, your cheekbones, even your smile, because there's nothing weighing them down. One client of mine, Teresa, was in her late 60s and hesitant about cutting her shoulder-length hair. But she was tired of spending hours trying to style it so it wouldn't look limp. I suggested a layered pixie with volume at the crown and soft, feathered edges. When she saw the result, she was stunned. Not only did the cut make her hair look twice as thick, but it gave her face a lifted, radiant quality. She told me later that the cut changed more than her appearance. It gave her the courage to step into new social circles because she felt so confident. That's the magic of a pixie when it's done with softness and shape. It's not just a haircut, it's a statement of confidence. The third cut I want to highlight is the long layered shag. For women who want to keep their length but still look modern and energetic, this is the perfect option. The shag works because it removes heaviness while adding bounce and movement. Instead of hair hanging in one flat sheet, feathered layers create the illusion of volume and vitality. The best length for this cut is usually around the collarbone or a few inches below, because it allows for plenty of movement without weighing the face down. Curtain bangs or soft side bangs can be added to frame the eyes and balance the features. I'll never forget a woman named Carol, a retired teacher who came to me saying she was afraid to cut her long hair. She had worn it straight and heavy for decades, and she felt it was her signature. But she also admitted that it didn't feel flattering anymore. We decided on a long shag with soft layers and subtle highlights. The result was stunning. Her friends immediately commented that she looked not only younger but more vibrant, as if she had a new energy about her. And she told me something that still makes me smile. For the first time in years, I feel like my hair is dancing again. Each of these 3 cuts, the layered bob, the voluminous pixie, and the layered shag, works in its own way to restore lightness and vitality. What they all have in common is movement, softness, and the ability to frame the face in a way that uplifts rather than drags down. They adapt beautifully to different textures, whether your hair is fine, thick, straight, or wavy. And perhaps most importantly, they communicate something about your spirit. When people see hair that moves and shines, they don't just see a younger woman. They see a confident woman, a vibrant woman, someone who is engaged with the world and still evolving in style. So when you ask me what haircuts can make you look 10 years younger, my answer isn't about chasing the past. It's about choosing cuts that honor who you are today, cuts that reflect your vitality, your elegance, and your refusal to fade into the background. Because hair at any age is more than just hair. It's a frame for your beauty and a mirror of your confidence. 3 haircuts to avoid after 60. Just as there are cuts that can make you look fresher, lighter, and more vibrant, there are also styles that can unintentionally add years to your appearance. These aren't bad haircuts in themselves. In fact, some of them were very fashionable in decades past. But after 60, the wrong style can exaggerate signs of aging, weigh down your features, and make you appear less approachable than you truly are. Let's talk about 3 in particular that I advise my clients to stay away from, or at least rethink carefully. The first is the overly short, harsh crop. Now, don't misunderstand me. Short hair can be absolutely stunning, and as we just discussed, a pixie with volume is one of the most youthful and empowering styles you can choose. But when a crop is cut too close, too blunt, and too severe, it creates the opposite effect. Hair that hugs the scalp with no softness or texture leaves the face completely exposed. Every line around the eyes, every crease near the mouth, every bit of sagging around the jawline becomes more pronounced. Instead of lifting the face, it emphasizes age. I remember a client named Janet who came to me after trying an ultra-short crop that she thought would be practical. She liked the idea of wash and go with no styling needed. But she admitted that ever since she cut it, people had been asking if she was tired or worse, if she was unwell. The harshness of the cut had stripped away the softness that made her look approachable. When we softened the edges, added some texture, and left just enough length on top to create movement, her entire look shifted. Suddenly she looked vibrant again, still enjoying the low-maintenance routine she wanted, but without the unintentional severity. The second cut to be cautious about is long, heavy, one-length hair. Many women hold onto their long hair for sentimental reasons. It feels familiar, it feels feminine, it feels safe. And let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with loving your length. But when hair is all one length, straight across, with no layers or movement, it becomes heavy and flat. Instead of lifting your face, it drags it down. For women whose hair has naturally thinned at the ends, this style can look stringy, lifeless, and dated. I worked with a woman named Diane who was 64 and had worn her hair in the same style since her 30s, straight, waist length, and without layers. She told me she felt invisible, and that people often mistook her for older than she was. When I suggested adding layers and shaping the length around her collarbone, she was hesitant. After all, that long hair had become part of her identity. But when she finally agreed, the change was dramatic. She still had length, but now her hair had bounce, body, and dimension. People told her she looked not just younger, but more confident and modern. That's the difference a few smart layers can make. The third style that can add years rather than take them away is what I call the rigid helmet bob. You've probably seen this cut before. It's perfectly rounded, heavily sprayed, and doesn't move an inch even in the wind. In the 1960s or 70s, it was a symbol of polish and sophistication. But today it often reads as stiff, old-fashioned, and unapproachable. The problem with this style is that it lacks movement. Hair that is rigid and frozen communicates rigidity in personality as well, closed, formal, unchanging. It can also make the face appear boxy, accentuating lines instead of softening them. I once had a client, Margaret, who had worn the same helmet bob for over 20 years. She liked the security of knowing her hair would look exactly the same every day. But she admitted she often felt invisible at social events, and that younger women seemed to avoid striking up conversations with her. When we softened her bob with layers, added texture around her face, and broke up the solid block of color with subtle highlights, the difference was incredible. Suddenly her hair moved when she turned her head, and her whole presence felt warmer and more inviting. People responded to her in a completely different way, not because of her outfit or her makeup, but because her hair signaled energy instead of rigidity. Each of these 3 cuts, the harsh crop, the heavy one length, and the rigid helmet bob, share a common theme. They lack softness, movement, and adaptability. And those qualities are exactly what we need after 60 to project vitality, elegance, and openness. Choosing to avoid them doesn't mean abandoning practicality or tradition. It means updating your look so it reflects who you are now, not who you were decades ago. So if you've been clinging to one of these styles out of habit, ask yourself honestly, Is this haircut still serving me or is it holding me back? The answer may surprise you. And with just a few thoughtful changes, you might discover a version of yourself that feels fresher, more confident, and beautifully in step with the life you're living today. How to choose the right haircut after 60. At this point, you may be asking yourself, all right, I know what to try and what to avoid, but how do I choose the cut that's right for me? The truth is there's no single formula that works for every woman. A flattering haircut at 60 or 70 depends on 3 key factors: your face shape, your hair texture, and your lifestyle. Let's begin with face shape. If your face is round, cuts that add height at the crown can elongate your silhouette and create balance. If your face is more square or angular, soft layers around the edges or side-swept bangs can soften strong lines and bring harmony. And if your face is longer or narrower, adding width and movement around the sides can keep it from looking too severe. I often remind my clients to think of their haircut as the frame of a portrait. The right frame enhances the artwork. It doesn't overwhelm it, and it doesn't fight against it. Next comes hair texture. This is something we often overlook, but it's absolutely critical. If your hair is fine or thinning, shorter cuts with layers can create fullness and give the illusion of thickness. If your hair is naturally thick, you'll want to remove bulk with layering so it doesn't overwhelm your face. And if you have waves or curls, celebrate them. The right stylist can shape those curls so they move and bounce with energy, rather than frizzing or lying flat. I've had countless women with natural curls tell me that once they embraced their texture instead of fighting it, they looked and felt younger almost instantly. And then there is lifestyle, the factor most stylists forget to talk about. I always ask my clients, how much time do you realistically want to spend on your hair each day? Some women love experimenting and enjoy styling tools. Others want something they can simply wash and go. If you crave simplicity, a layered bob or a pixie with volume may be perfect since both look polished with minimal effort. If you enjoy versatility, a shag with longer layers may be more your style since you can wear it sleek one day and tousled the next. Remember, the best haircut isn't just the one that looks good in the salon chair, it's the one that fits comfortably into your everyday life. A practical tip: don't hesitate to bring pictures to your stylist. Sometimes it's difficult to describe exactly what you want, but a visual reference makes it easier to align your vision with your stylist's expertise. And never underestimate the power of regular trims. Even the most flattering haircut can lose its shape after a few months. Keeping your ends fresh and your layers defined is the difference between a tired look and a polished one. The psychology of hair and the final lesson. Beyond technique and styling, there's a deeper truth that I want you to take away. A haircut is never just cosmetic. It carries psychological weight. When you update your hair in a way that flatters your features, you're not just changing what you see in the mirror, you're changing how you feel inside. A haircut that lifts and softens your face also lifts your confidence. It makes you smile more, stand taller, and engage with the world more openly. Psychologists have found that when people feel good about their appearance, they are more likely to try new activities, socialize more, and even experience better moods overall. In other words, the right haircut can be a catalyst for joy and self-expression. It's not about erasing the years, it's about reflecting who you are now, vibrant, wise, and still full of life. I often tell my clients, don't think of your haircut as a way to hide your age. Think of it as a way to honor it. At 60 or 70, you've earned the right to wear your hair in a way that feels authentic and beautiful to you. The right cut highlights your strengths, celebrates your individuality, and projects the message that you are still evolving, still modern, still radiant. So here's the final lesson: aging is not about fading into the background. It's about stepping forward with grace, style, and confidence. And sometimes a haircut is the spark that reminds you of the vibrant woman you've always been. If you take one message from this conversation, let it be this: your hair is more than just hair. It is your frame, your statement, and your silent introduction to the world. Choose a style that makes you feel alive, one that mirrors your energy and your spirit. Because when you feel good about your hair, it shows in your posture, your laughter, your presence. And that, more than any trend or technique, is what keeps you looking youthful, elegant, and unforgettable at every age. So what's the real lesson here? Hair after 60 is not about hiding who you are or pretending to be someone younger. It's about celebrating the stage of life you're in and letting your beauty shine through in a way that feels authentic. The right haircut isn't just a cosmetic change. It's the perfect frame for your face, the detail that makes your natural elegance come alive. When your hair supports you instead of working against you, it brightens your features, softens the lines, and most importantly, gives you that spark of confidence that no cream, no outfit, no accessory can truly replace. I want you to remember this. 60 is not the age to shrink back or to disappear. It is the age to step forward with grace, with boldness, with your own sense of style. Your hair can be a mirror of that spirit. It can be the magical detail that brings back your self-assurance, your vitality. And yes, even the smile you thought you had lost somewhere along the way. So let me ask you, what haircut are you wearing right now? And are you brave enough to try something new, something that might reveal a fresher, more vibrant version of yourself? I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments below, because your story might inspire another woman who is watching this and wondering if she too should take that step. If this video gave you a spark of inspiration, share it with a friend, subscribe to this channel, and join me for the next conversation. We'll continue to explore the ways fashion, style, and beauty can empower us at every age. Because you deserve to feel radiant, not just in your 20s or 40s, but in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It has been an absolute joy to share these ideas with you. I can't wait to see you again in the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into the little changes that can make a big difference in how you look and feel. Until then, take care of yourself, embrace your beauty, and keep shining. I'll see you soon.